Hi, it's Danielle. Welcome to my perfume journal. In this video, we are setting up my tray for the month of February. So I used to set a weekly tray to make sure I give all of my perfumes some attention and love. But this year I decided to set up my tray every month instead of every week. And my intention is to wear every perfume on the tray at least once. So last month, I only had a 50% hit rate. I put 10 fumes on my tray, but I only wore 5 of them. So this month, I'm going to try only putting 5 perfumes on the tray. If I put 5 perfumes on my tray each month and wear 5 perfumes each month, over the course of a year, I will have cycled through at least 60 of my perfumes. And I do this because it's fun, and also because there are a handful of perfumes that are my favorites, the ones that I find myself craving and reaching for again and again and again. Let me actually show you what I mean. So this is kind of like my frequent reach area of my perfume cabinet on this little tray that my sister-in-law brought back from me from a trip that she took. So because I pull from this shelf so often, I do like to set up a tray to remind me that they aren't the only perfumes I have and enjoy. So this month I have 5 beautiful perfumes set up for February. So the first perfume on my tray is Elixir Essence Parfum from Roja Parfums. This is a really pretty sparkling raspberry rose. There is also ambrette in this perfume. It's a note or a material that I have become especially enamored with lately. That is kind of like a sweet musky kind of a scent, but it's also a little bit fresh. It comes from the muskmallow plant, and whether it is a natural or a synthetic version of ambrette, it adds just such a lovely, light, musky character to a perfume. And the other thing I love about this perfume is that it has a little bit of a plasticky quality to it. That might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I love a plasticky, almost like doll heady kind of a scent. Elixir Essence doesn't go all the way doll head, but it's more of like an elevated plastic, if there is such a thing, and I absolutely love it. Next, I am putting Benjoin Bohème from Diptyque on the tray. This is such a special one. It's ambery and spicy and balsamic with notes of benzoin, cistus, patchouli, Peru balsam, and spices. And to my nose, this perfume is almost incense-like. It almost goes resinous on me, which I love, but not like smoky resinous, more in like the sweet myrrh kind of a way. And then there's also like a brightness here. I guess the best way I could describe this perfume is that it smells like liquid gold, like bright, shiny, molten gold. This perfume is totally genderless. It works well day or night, but I would say that I do prefer to wear this one in the fall and winter rather than in the warmer months. So next is Covet from Sarah Jessica Parker. I love this perfume. I always describe this as a tarot reading modern day witch who lives in the forest and makes artisan chocolates. This is a perfume with notes that totally should not work, but they do. Lemon, dark chocolate, lavender, honeysuckle, amber, vetiver. This perfume is like gourmand, it's fresh, it's floral, it's woody, it's ambery. And just like a lot of Sarah Jessica Parker perfumes, this is a perfume that you could like pour into another bottle, put it on a shelf of an expensive niche perfumery, and not a single solitary person would bat an eye. It is up there for me with Stash as one of the most exciting and interesting perfumes in the SJP line, and one of my top 10 affordable gems. And this gorgeous dark amethyst moon is a perfume I have been neglecting significantly, and that's about to change. This is Ghost Deep Night. So the star of this perfume is the Datura flower. It's a flower that is exceptionally poisonous in real life. So for certain, this is a fantasy Datura note, but that does not make it any less beautiful or interesting. So Datura is a night blooming flower. It has that kind of mystery about it. It's indolic and thick and fleshy. And in this perfume, it's paired with some jasmine sambac. So you have this intensely intoxicating floralcy that definitely has to be dosed very, very carefully. There is also a very sweet compote-like peach note in here with some apricot, and then a huge dollop of amber and vanilla holding all of that up. So you can probably tell that this is a very intense perfume. Deep Night is the perfect name for it. It sort of reminds me of like walking through a dimly lit garden in like Savannah, Georgia, where the trees and the plants sort of create that like overhang or canopy above you. And you can hear the crickets or the cicadas chirping. And there are huge numbers of night blooming flowers all around, wafting their scent in like the thick, humid air. It is just such a unique and unusual perfume. Go Deep Night. And finally, this is Heliotrope from Perfumer H. This was a love at first sniff perfume for me. So Lynn Harris, the original perfumer and co-founder of Miller Harris, started her own boutique brand, Perfumer H, after she sold off Miller Harris. Although I would not call Perfumer H like a small little boutique brand anymore. It is worldwide, and I think it's now like hugely popular. So many of the Perfumer H perfumes feature like a single note. So in this case, it's Heliotrope. And you do get that classic fluffy almondy kind of scent here, but she has added some really interesting things like frankincense and neroli and mandarin that kind of freshen this up just a bit. It's still essentially like a powdery floral, but it has a lot more going on. And it's interesting too because it's linear, but also not. Like this perfume doesn't go through a top, mid, and base kind of evolution as you wear it, but it also doesn't stay exactly the same either. It's kind of like different aspects of the perfume step forward and then step back as you wear it. Like green, please step forward. Almond, step forward. Powder, step forward. Purple, step forward. And they all kind of like come to the front of the stage at different points. And I think that's something that Lynn Harris does really well and really uniquely in this line. And one of the things that makes her just like such a good perfumer. Okay, so before I sign off, here is one more little peek at what I actually do with my perfumes after I make my videos. After I finish filming my tray video for the month, I actually move the perfumes over to this little desk where I keep the real tray, not the video tray. And this is where I keep like my samples and my little blotters for sampling, where I'll sit down sometimes and I'll just like have like a little sampling sesh and I'll write notes in my journal or on my computer. But this is where I actually keep the perfumes that are on my tray for the wearing. So they're like right out in the open and I can see them and remember to try to reach for them over the course of the month. So thank you so much for watching, for spending your time here with me, and for chatting perfumes with me in the comments. I have so much fun making videos about my longtime beloved hobby, and I am very grateful that you come here to share it with me. I hope you have a fab day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.